Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Friday, December the 23rd, race number 8 at Laurel. We're going about a mile and a 16th, and this is a nice allowance race. Let's take a peek at this field. Remember, head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Download those free Formulator past performances and come along with us for the ride for race number 8 at Laurel. Down towards Laurel, the number 1 is Court and a Song. And Court and a Song was a winner last time out, 72 Beyer speed figure. This is a horse that at least likes to win, draws a good inside post position.
I think it's very important in a race like this where you've got that quick run into the first turn, and it doesn't look like there's a ton of gas in this race. I like this horse. I picked him second in here. You look at his 2 route races on dirt. He's 2 for 2. That run 2 back that came sprinting at 7 furlongs. I think this horse fits in here, particularly when you consider a couple of these horses have faced each other in the past, recently, in their most recent start. I think this horse is interesting. I picked him second.
He's an example of how this is a tough game. A $550,000 2-year-old in training purchase, and unfortunately after his maiden win, he went to the sidelines for a year, and it appears he hasn't come back. Now, his trainer, Richard Illman, just at the Laurel meets had some tough times, but we have a very limited positive formulator fact. The past couple of years, last out winners with 3-year-olds and up dirt routers, 20% in a 363 ROI, and this horse at least is sharp, and he draws an inside post. We'll see how he handles the tough for allowance company.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest concern in a race like this. The thing I think that makes him so interesting, not just because it's that quick run into the first turn, that tactical speed that he has. He doesn't have to come from way out of it. And a lot of these horses, it seems like the paces in these route races in Maryland don't develop. I think that makes a horse that can see out the distance very interesting.
I think the number 2, It's the Journey, has an outside chance at a very big price. The first few races of his career were solid. He then went to the sidelines for a relatively long time. He came back last time out. He was part of the pace, and while the fractions don't look fast, that race went to closers. Yeah. And on the whole day at Laurel on November 24th, speed horses didn't seem to be doing very well. So perhaps, just perhaps, It's the Journey has an excuse for the last race. He was able to run a 74 Beyer as a February 3-year-old. Maybe with the last race under his belt, he can improve.
Certainly. I think that's a perfectly logical way of looking at it. If he does improve and he gets closer to that mid-70 Beyer, that makes him a prime contender in here. It's not like we've got any superstars. I think he's interesting at a number.
How's Your Sugar, the number 3, a runner-up last time out behind Jim, who's also in this race. His dirt form is pretty good. Heck, he's just a solid horse, whether it's turf or dirt, wet or dry. Good tactical speed. I wonder how much improvement is left in the tank, but he is coming off a career-best dirt Beyer, 78. He must be respected.
I don't think there's going to be any sort of giant move forward, but at the end of the day, he's just rock solid. He'll show up and run his race more often than not. I don't know that he's good enough to win in here. I picked him third.
Let's take a look at the 4, Jim. This is a horse that has blossomed in his last 2 starts, finally getting an opportunity to stretch out in distance around a route of ground. He demolished the field of 25,000 optional starters. Last time out, he beat 3 of these horses with an 81 Beyer speed figure. And the reason he's in the same level, hey, that last race was for Maryland breds, and these same Maryland breds are coming back in the open level. He is way the horse to beat.
Way the horse to beat. I just thought he was much the best in that most recent start. Like you say, it probably helped that early on he was a couple lengths off of it, but at the end of the day, it's not like he came from a mile out. Carrasco had him moving up down the backside. He got into that prime stalking position, and he was just better than everyone else that day. It's also worth noting, he broke from post 10 that day with that short run into the first turn. He was hung wide on the first turn. He was still much the best. I just feel like if you're going to take a shot, in my opinion, with anyone other than the horses that are sort of logical in here, it's got to be from someone outside of these horses.
He was much the best.
He was much the best. If you like that race, you have to like this horse.
He kind of bobbled coming out of post 10 and broke out. Still found his spot. I mean, he took over with about 3 furlongs to run and just kept right on going. The 5 is Strike and Spare, and you've got to respect the horse's lifetime record. He has won 7 times in his career, and he's coming off of a win against condition claimers last time. Now, he had a big pace to rally into that day, and that really helped out Strike and Spare, a New Jersey bred whose prior races at this level, now he's been stuck at the 1X level for a very long time. I just wonder if he truly classes up. He's in good form for a good trainer.
Yeah, good form, good trainer. at the end of the day, just a little bit slow too, not just from a class standpoint, but from a figure standpoint. I don't think he's run a race fast enough to win.
Enough is enough was claimed by a good trainer, and Mary Epler, 3 starts back, immediately responded with a win and a starter. Optional claimer was the beaten favorite behind Jim last time out. Another lightly raced 3-year-old has some upside. I just couldn't really find the excuse last time as to why he would turn the tables on Jim all of a sudden here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he had the pace work in his advantage, and he just couldn't quite run with those big boys at the end. I suppose if you want to go and see 2-back handled Court in a Song, the horse we talked about down on the rail, very easily. But as we just alluded to, I feel like, boy, I don't think I want anyone out of that race on November the 24th other than Jim.
Number 7 is Tis a Chance, returning to dirt for a very sharp trainer in Graham Motion. This horse has only raced once on the main track, and I can give him an excuse. It was about a year ago at Aqueduct on the inner dirt, and that day, for whatever reason, speed and the rail was dead. Horses were winning from all over the place, outside closers. Tis a Chance was the favorite that day. He ended up on the lead, and he just paid the price running on that deeper footing. Here's my concern. I don't think dirt's going to really be a problem for him. I think distance. He's a Tis Wonderful. Yeah. His best races on turf have come at 7 furlongs. I wonder how he's going to stretch it out here. I expect at least a little bit of fresh speed.
I was going to say, this may be one of those few instances, or rare instances, where the turf horse going over to the dirt may be the one that shows the speed as opposed to the dirt horses going to the turf. For what it's worth, past 5 years, turf to dirt, sprint to route at Laurel for Motion. 3 for 7, 6 in the money, 405 ROI. I kind of feel like he is the logical alternative. If you're looking for a fresh face in here where you think you know what everyone else is, maybe you don't know what he is just yet. He's got the high-profile connections. I wouldn't argue with anyone that picked him.
I think my alternative to the horses coming out of the Jim races, the 8 Ghost Bay, a horse that sold for $60,000 at one of the horses in training sales in November, had 1 sprint prep, didn't run very well, although you could argue those horses are much better than the ones he's facing here. He's now stretching out to a more appropriate distance. You look at some of the horses he's been in against on dirt, Bodhisattva, Sea Raven. He's been in against some good horses, and if you just think the last time out was sort of a feeling out process for the new barn, and he's now going to stretch out. I think he was actually entered in one of our race of the days that either got canceled due to weather or he was scratched, and I liked him in that race. Of course, I'm off him today, which means he wins. He's 8-1 on the morning line, but don't sell him short, especially if there's pace in the race.
He's interesting because, like you say, you go back, you've got a number of races against arguably better competition that are fast enough to win in a spot like this and faster than anyone else in this field has run. He is interesting if he gets the pace.
Holiday Moose is the number 9. He's won his last 2 races, which means he is in sharp form. Here's the problem. They were slow.
Yeah, no disrespect. He's got a brutal outside post, and he is in very good form at the moment, but those were in condition claiming events. I mean, if he wins out, I'll just throw my hands up.
Matt's going to make his case for his top selection in our Friday race of the day at Laurel. His top pick in this race is?
It's Jim. I mean, I'm not getting too cute. I understand why this is, kind of a blah, boring pick, but at the end of the day, I just thought he was so much better than everyone else most recently. If I needed to make a case for a fresh face, maybe Court in a Song to round out the exotics, simply because that inside speed going a mile and 16th, short run in the first turn, 4-1-3-6.
I agree. I'm going with Jim on top as well. He's just simply too sharp to ignore. He fits very well at this level. He's got great tactical speed. Boy, he just ticks all the boxes seemingly. I went 4-3-6-1. Maybe I'd use a little Ghost Bay as well, the 8 underneath. I think that horse will improve second out and stretching out. But we both like the 4, Jim, in the Friday race of the day. And if you're playing the Friday Laurel card from home, $100 worth of free bets, $100 sign-up bonus, $25 free bet just waiting for you. Head on over to drfbets.com/free bet for more details. Approximate post time for race number 8 at Laurel on Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern. Good luck.